As the annual Arctic Circle Assembly in Iceland's Reykjavik is coming to an end this Sunday, its participants from more than 60 countries agree that the security of the region is among the most pressing issues. Melting ice caps and China and Russia's growing activity in the region pose challenges NATO will have to address. And to discuss these issues, we're joined by our special guest, Admiral Giuseppe Cavo Dragone, chair of the NATO Military Committee, joining us from Reykjavik. Good evening. So, Admiral, a container ship can now travel the Northern Sea route from China to England in only 20 days, mostly due to climate change. Now, from your perspective as the chair of the NATO Military Committee, what dangers can this pose to the alliance?
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me. Well, the danger itself could be none if everything is kept under control. It could be a chance, an opportunity to have this kind of a new route available for goods coming to northern country, to let's say Rotterdam, whatever. The thing is that what NATO is aware of and wants to is just to keep all the routes free. Freedom of navigation, of course. Our sea line of communication must be open, and if the trafficking is under control, I don't see any harm or any danger.
Let me then ask this question differently. How highly do you rate the risk of the Arctic becoming another inflammatory spot on the global map? Now, could the conflict between NATO and Russia, along with its ally China, erupt rather in the Arctic than Europe or the Pacific region? Well,
what NATO is committed to is to safeguard this area with all the new event happening in the future. As I mean, new as you said, new routes, new way of communication. This is a free area, and we want to keep it that way. And there will be, I'm assuming there will be some confrontation. There will be some position that will put Russia and China in front of NATO, but we need probably to increase our presence over there, and we need to exercise the right level of deterrence, like we are doing right now, to fill the gap and to avoid any kind of exploitation of these future events, and to have the possibility to get free access to for minerals, for rare earth and gas, oil, LNG for the community, like it is right now and like it should be in the future.
Admiral, then, is NATO planning to send more troops to Iceland or to Greenland? And what sort of troops? Where from?
Okay, NATO is training in this area with all the troops. We have been doing exercises with more than 10,000 troops up in Norway, just to get accustomed to rigid climate. Let's say that in detail, Iceland its role in NATO is a good host nation for all the troops that are here permanently on a rotational base. For example, P-8, American P-8, or air policing interceptors, or for any kind of redeployment it could be necessary in case of something new arises. This country is going to be a force multiplier, a host nation with all the capability, all the infrastructures to host whatever is necessary, speaking about aircraft, but also ship, submarines, and also soldier, land troop, in case we need to redeploy them over here. So on one side we train them, we send them back home, and then we are available, the infrastructure here, the host nations with capital H, I would say, for them to be redeployed.
That's in case of the emergency. But, well, the Baltic Sea has already become the arena of intense hybrid conflict between Russia and NATO, with Moscow targeting Western undersea infrastructure. Now, how is NATO already countering this specific threat in the Arctic?
Yes, again, these hybrid activities sometimes are difficult to as far as the attribution. As you know, you have seen what has been happening in the past. But again, at the onset of this kind of problem, which honestly have increased in the numbers recently, NATO started a new operation. We call it Baltic Sentry, with the NATO nations providing ships to patrol and to monitor the Baltic Sea. As a matter of fact, since January, when Baltic Sentry started, there has been no other incident in our critical undersea infrastructures. This means something. This, I think, it's a good example of deterrence. We are having also, in this ground, we are trying also new, innovative forces. I mean, unmanned vehicles, unmanned underwater and surface vehicle, just to be able to patrol, and on the other side to save, I mean, gray ship, warship from being used too much in this area. So with the unmanned vehicles underwater and above the surface, we are and we got some testing, very fruitful, that we can do that also with these new technologies, with new system that are also using satellites to have, I mean, a huge data transmission and maritime situation awareness.
Mm-hmm. Now, the Arctic is quite a tasty morsel for all major world powers, with its natural vast resources that you have already spoken of, now, including, of course, these rare earth minerals necessary for the production of modern weaponry, such as US-made F-35 fighter jets. Now, given the recent trade tensions between Beijing and Washington, could the exploitation of the Arctic be a game changer in this conflict?
Well, the Arctic could be a game changer anyway. I mean, of course, all the minerals and all the stuff you can find there is also for civilian, important civilian use. But again, it will be a confrontation ground. The thing is that if properly conducted, it would be, I mean, something that has been done also in other areas, with a confrontation remaining a confrontation without evolving in a kind of conflict and so on. But I think I'm expecting that this confrontation will be, I mean, important in these new areas.
Mm-hmm. And Admiral, lastly, one more, well, let's say controversial question, as we're talking about major investments in the Arctic. Now, almost every time a major strategic investment is on the horizon, environmental activists try to block it. Now, given the very nature of tensions over the Arctic, now, should the West even take such protests into consideration?
Well, I mean, I think that we need. I mean, we are a democratic nation, so we want and we have to, and we want to listen to everybody. We are able also to review our things that could be deemed appropriate, and just listen to, as I told you, to everybody. I mean, these at the stake now. There is, peace, freedom of navigation, balance, normal economic activities. So this has the potential to evolve in a conflict. This is true. So being able to send a strong message that we are, strong, that any kind of aggressive move from our counterparts would end up in a bigger disadvantage for them compared to what they could gain. This is the game in which we are involved, and this is the way deterrence must be exercised. And all movement that don't take into consideration this event, I think they don't have the real perspective and the real view of how the world is evolving.
Admiral Giuseppe Cavo Dragone, chair of the NATO Military Committee, joined us from Reykjavik, Iceland. Thank you very much, Admiral.
Thank you very much to you.
And thank you for watching, and stay with us for much more here on TVP World.